What is up everyone, welcome back to another video. Yes, today we'll be looking at my game week 31 team selection. The international break is finally drawing to a close. We will look at potential transfers in, transfers out, team selection, captaincy, benching headaches, all of that, as well as talk about some of the key players that you may be considering bringing into your teams as well, and talk about the upcoming double game week in game week 31. But before we do that, a very quick recap of how game week 30 went. I know it was quite a few weeks ago now, and it is a distant memory for a lot of you because it was a roller coaster game week, but a quick recap nonetheless. So I scored quite well. Sarr with a 1. I made 2 transfers and I brought in Amati and Barnes for Luca Dean and Rafinha. Luca Dean and Rafinha both without a fixture, and Amati and Barnes did outscore them. It was a -4, so I didn't gain that much ground, but I do have 2 players in my team now who do have a double game week in the upcoming game week 33. If you haven't watched that video from earlier in the week, make sure you go and check it out. 7 from White, the hero of my season, continues to return, and with no Ramsdale in that Arsenal lineup for the clean sheet, it definitely boosted my rank. The midfield was okay. Odegaard with 3 again, blanking once again, but having a great game. Kulusevski 2, a bit of a quiet one for him, with Son doing all the damage to me and to the opposition. Saka with 11, Kane up front with 26, Watkins blanking with 2, and Jimenez with a -2. The less we talk about Watkins and Jimenez, I think the better. I've held them for about 6 weeks because I just wanted them to play in this fixture, and then they both go and get a combined score of 0. Salah, Trent, Robertson, of course, on the bench with no fixture. So an okay week. It gave me a 59 points overall with a -4, giving me 55 points, a game week rank of pretty much dead on 1 million. 2,000 points have been hit, 2,034, and it did give me a small green arrow from 23k up to 21k. So pretty happy with how that went, although I was hoping for a bit of a bigger green arrow given I had 11 players start this week. So now moving on to the exciting part, potential transfers for the upcoming game week 31. You can see down below me that I have 1 free transfer and 1.2 million to play. I also have 3 chips still to remain, and we will talk a little bit about whether I'm considering playing any of those in the near future. But for the time being, the 3 players I'm considering selling out to my team are Jose Sarr of Wolves, Amati of Leicester, and then Jimenez of Wolves as well. Jimenez, I think, is on the chopping block for a lot of you. There aren't that many forwards, but we'll talk about probably the number 1 candidate for us to bring in terms of Jimenez replacements in just a minute. Amati is fine for bench fodder, but I will free up a little bit of money with my Jimenez transfer that I could upgrade Amati to some of those more premium options. We do also have Trent likely to be out for this week against Watford. However, I do have a good enough bench this week that I don't think he's really a transfer out for me. I'd rather just upgrade Amati if I have the money in the bank. In terms of those potential replacements, Pope is the goalkeeper I'm looking at, of course. Burnley with a double game week in game week 31 as well as game week 33, and then Norwich in game week 32 as well. I don't love the Burnley defenders because of the amount of other good defenders that you have. Now, if you have Reece James, he's a great pick. If you have Cancelo, Robertson, also great. But if you have Trent and are looking to downgrade, you could go for the likes of Tarkowski, who is actually predicted to be the highest scoring defender over the next 3 game weeks, if you do include all those double game weeks that they have. However, I am looking at Pope because Sarr doesn't have a fixture in game week 33, so I will need to make that goalkeeper transfer at some point anyway. And given that Pope doubles this week anyway, I think I might just end up making it for a -4 this week. James is a great option. I can't get up to Cancelo from Amati, so I would have to settle for James, although settling for James is no hardship. And then WEGHORST, of course, the striker. I don't love him, but he's cheaper than we've got with Jimenez. He's one of the best cheap strikers that there are, and he has 5 games in 3 weeks when he should be playing them all unless he gets injured. You could go for Cuco Hernandez, but with no double game weeks and only 3 fixtures, I think is worth punting on WEGHORST over the next few game weeks. So just to summarise those transfers, it would be Sarr to Pope, Amati to James, or Jimenez to WEGHORST. Now, I think it's unlikely that I make all of these, but with those potential transfers in mind and 1 free transfer in the bank, let's have a look at how I think I'm going to line up for game week 31 and whether I will actually pull the trigger on 1 of those transfers, 2 of those transfers, 3 of those transfers, or I could actually just play my wild card. So I don't think before we go into it that I'm going to play my wildcard. I did speak a little bit about it in an earlier video this week. I just think if I target game week 33 and then wildcard in game week 34 for the last 5 game weeks of the season, I think I can do well enough over the near future with the players that I've got to get through 31, 32 and 33 with an okay sort of small red arrow, grey arrow, and then really target the last 5 game weeks with 3 chips still to play and hopefully get inside the top 10k because I'm currently sitting just 25 points outside with 3 chips still to play. So with no wildcard likely to be activated, in goal we will start with Jose Sarr. At the moment, I think I'm going to err on the side of caution. I've taken a lot of hits over the past few weeks and I'm currently just thinking, let's play Sarr. He's got a decent fixture against Villa at home. Yes, Wolves did concede a few times to Leeds, but that was driven by the red card to Jimenez. Villa have looked okay in recent weeks. They've dried up in terms of goals as well. So I do think there's a good chance for Wolves clean sheet, especially with them being at home. So Sarr does keep his place for me, although that is a touch and go transfer whether Pope comes in. Next up, we add triple Liverpool. Now, of course, I will be starting Trent in the off chance that he does play. I have Robertson as well, so I still have defensive cover in a very good fixture, and then Salah in there as well. Triple Liverpool in a great fixture. I don't think Trent will play, and we'll look at who's first on my bench to come in if he doesn't, but at the time of recording, I'm happy with them still being in my squad for now. Next up, in midfield, we add Harvey Barnes of Leicester, who goes away to Manchester United. However, we know how Manchester United have been defending in recent weeks. I don't love this as a fixture, but looking at my bench, he's better than the players I've got there at the moment, so I'm quite happy to play him as maybe a bit of a differential this week. Yes, I could have kept Rafinha, who has a better fixture at home to Southampton, but I'm still expecting maybe Barnes and maybe a more rested Leicester side compared to a lot of those Manchester United players going on international duty to maybe get some goals in that one. Although it is away, I am hoping for something for Barnes in that fixture. Next up, adding into the midfield, again, we have double Arsenal in Odegaard and Saka. Again, Saka's been absolutely brilliant. He did pick up COVID early in the international break, but I expect him to be back ready for game week 31. If he's out and if Trent's out, both with their injuries, with their illnesses, then I will probably wildcard, but I think at least Saka will be fine. Odegaard comes in, he starts again because I've benched him once in the past 9 weeks and that was when he scored, so I just have to keep starting him for the off chance that he does score. Crystal Palace have got an injury to Zaha, which means they're slightly less productive going forward, which I do think favours that Arsenal team, and it means they may create a few more chances because they can control the game better. So hopefully Odegaard can get involved in that for once. Hopefully some points for him. Now we add triple Tottenham, so Doherty, Kulusevski, Kane, all with a nice home fixture against Newcastle. Now Kane, a great option, Doherty, a great option, but both very highly owned. It's Kulusevski versus Son, which went very well until the game week 29. However, game week 30 was the game week that Son finally punished me for not owning him. Congratulations if you had Son in game week 30, but hopefully these guys can pull through at home to Newcastle. And then finally, to lead the line, who else but Wout Weghorst? We've been done by him once before in that game week 27 blank game week. He's going to come in for me again. Of course he is. I love a double game week. Such a sucker for a double game week. 31, then Norwich, then a double in 33 as well. It's too good to turn down, especially with Jimenez on a red card. That transfer is almost locked in. I haven't done it at time of recording, but I can't see myself going anywhere else. Now, the bench, White is first on the bench. You can easily come in for Trent away at Palace. I don't mind that. Arsenal are pretty good defensively. I'm quite happy with that as a fixture if Trent doesn't play. Watkins then second on my bench away at Wolves. Could end up coming on, but I think he'll stay sort of first sub if Trent doesn't play. And then Amati. I could go Amati up and then bench Odegaard, potentially could bench Barnes as well, but at the moment I'm just going with one transfer. I think the Sarr to Pope transfer is much more likely than the Amati transfer as well. But this is how I'm lining up: 3-5-2, Sarr in goal, Robertson, Doherty, Trent, Salah, Barnes, Odegaard, Kulusevski, Saka, new signing Weghorst to partner Harry Kane. In terms of captaincy, it's currently on Salah with Kane as my vice captain. However, there is a slight part of me that wants to go with Kane. Kane and Tottenham have one fixture this week and then they have a week off, whereas Salah, being away playing for Egypt, then has the Watford fixture. They then play Champions League and then they play Manchester City in what could be a title deciding match. Now, I think Salah will start against Watford, but there's a good chance that he doesn't play the full match, whereas Kane is pretty nailed to start every single game and he's been returning so many points. At the time of recording, it's on Salah, Kane vice, but that could definitely change between now and the deadline. Thank you all for watching. Let me know any questions you have about your team in the comment section down below. Any comments on my team. Would you play your wildcard? Would you bring in Pope? Would you bring in Reece James? Or would you go with just the team that I've got up on screen now? Let me know in the comment section along with your questions. Please do like and subscribe to the video. We're chasing 17k subscribers between now and the end of the season. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll be back again very soon.